students, faculty, and staff. Today we remember and commemorate the life of Charles Reed Bishop, husband of our beloved Bernice Pauahi Bishop.
It was through his wisdom and generosity that started the elementary and middle school divisions of Kamehameha schools.
Ipulekako. Mahalo Keopuolani for this day that we set aside to worship you and honor the life of Charles Reed Bishop.
We thank you for his generosity and how he used his own resources so younger children could be a part of Kamehameha schools. Help us to be good stewards so we may continue the legacy of our beloved Pauahi and continue the work of your Son by caring for one another and your creation.
Be with us now as we come together in worship. Amen.
Today's scripture is taken from Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 through 30. It's also like a man going off on an extended trip. He called his servants together and delegated responsibilities. To one, he gave $5,000, to another, $2,000, to a third, $1,000, depending on their abilities. Then he left.
Right off, the first servant went to work and doubled his master's investment. The second did the same. But the man with the single $1,000 dug a hole and carefully buried his master's money.
After a long absence, the master of those three servants came back and settled up with them. The one given $5,000 showed him how he had doubled his investment. His master commended him. "Good work. You did your job well. From now on, be my partner."
The servant with the 2,000 showed how he also had doubled his master's investment. His master commended him. "Good work. You did your job well. From now on, be my partner." The servant given 1,000 said, "Master, I know you have high standards and hate careless ways, that you demand the best and make no allowances for error. I was afraid I might disappoint you, so I found a good hiding place and secured your money. Here it is, safe and sound, down to the last cent."
The master was furious. "That's a terrible way to live. It's criminal to live cautiously like that. If you knew I was after the best, why did you do less than the least? The least you could have done would have been to invest the sum with the bankers, where at least I would have gotten a little interest. Take the 1,000 and give it to the one who risked the most. And get rid of this play it safe who won't go out on a limb. Throw him out into utter darkness."
Charles Reed Bishop, husband of Kamehameha School's founder, Bernice Pauahi Bishop, was the driving force that brought his wife's wishes to fruition and a very important and well-respected citizen of the Hawaiian Kingdom in his own right.
Born January 25, 1822 in Glenville, New York, Bishop grew up on his grandfather's 120-acre farm, learning to care for sheep, cattle, and horses, and repairing wagons, buggies, and stagecoaches. He attended 7th and 8th grade at Glenville Academy, which completed his formal education, then worked in the mercantile establishment, clerking, ordering, bookkeeping, inventorying, and running a lumber yard and farm. By January of 1846, Bishop was ready to broaden his horizon. He and a friend, William Little Lee, planned to travel to Oregon, Lee to practice law, and Bishop to serve land. Their journey, however, ended in Hawaii in October 1846, where both men decided to stay for a while. A period of Bishop that stretched into nearly half a century, Bishop easily found work first at Ladd and Company, a mercantile and freight trading establishment. Then at the U.S. Consulate in Honolulu. In 1849, Bishop signed an oath to support the Constitution and laws of the Hawaiian Island, and was appointed collector customs for the kingdom.
Bishop met Pauahi while she was still a student at the Chief's Children's School, and against her parents' wishes, he courted and married her in 1850. His letters that mentioned Pauahi revealed a deep respect and affection for his wife, and suggest that she was a major source of his happiness throughout their 34-year marriage.
In short succession, he married Bernice Pauahi, was made a lifetime member of the House of Nobles, joined the Privy Council, made Collector General of Customs, helped organize the Royal Hawaiian Agricultural Society, opened a bank under the name Bishop and Company, the predecessor of First Hawaiian Bank, and generally, without realizing it, laid the foundation for his leadership in the community. Despite his many business ventures, Bishop managed to serve Kings Kamehameha IV, Kamehameha V, Lunalilo, and Koakoa in a variety of positions such as foreign minister, handling treaties with Australia, Germany, Denmark, France, Russia, and the United States, president of the Board of Education, and chairman of the Legislative Finance Committee. He also sat on the boards of many charities and donated generously to Hawaii schools, hospitals, churches, and social welfare organizations.
Soon after her death in 1884, he wrote, "I know you all love her, for nobody could know her at all well and not love her. For myself, I will only say that I am trying to bear my loss and my loneliness persistently as I can, looking forward hopefully to the time when I shall find my loved one again." Furthermore, in a letter to Samuel Damon in 1911, Bishop wrote, "Being interested in her plans and wishes, and because of her very generous gifts to me, I decided to carry out her wishes regarding the schools and promised to do something towards a museum of Hawaiian and Polynesian objects. In order to accomplish something quickly without sacrifice or embarrassment of her estate, I soon reconveyed to her estate the life interest given by her will and added a considerable amount of my own property on Oahu, Hawaii, and Molokai."
Bishop, as one of the 5 trustees Pauahi selected to manage her estate and co-executor of her will, set in motion the process that resulted in the establishment of the Kamehameha schools in 1887. Because Pauahi's estate was basically land-rich and cash-poor, Bishop contributed his own funds for the construction of several of the school's initial buildings on the original Kalihi campus: the Preparatory Department Facilities, 1888, Bishop Hall, 1891, and Bernice Pauahi Bishop Memorial Chapel, 1897. In addition, he founded and endowed the Bernice Pauahi Bishop Museum in 1889 as an endured memorial to his wife. Thus began the legacy the Princess Bernice Pauahi Bishop carried out by her husband, Charles V. Bishop.
In 1894, Bishop left Hawaii to make a new life in San Francisco, California. Until he died in 1915, he continued, through correspondence with the school's trustees, to guide the fiscal and educational policy, thinking of the institution in directions that reinforced Pauahi's vision of a perpetual educational institution that would assist Native Hawaiians to become good and industrious men and women. Bernice Pauahi Bishop, will, 1883. In accordance with Bishop's expressed wish, his ashes were returned to Hawaii and interred in the Kamehameha tomb in Mauna Ala by the side of his wife.
How many of you have been asked to take care of something really special by someone? Maybe it's a toy or a sweater or something that this person really valued. Remember when I was working at a summer program, I had a niece who was about 5 years old taking part in it, and she came up to me and she said, "Uncle, take care of this for me," and she stuffed something to my pocket. I said, "What is this?" And she right away went off to play with her friends, so when she was gone, I took it out, unfolded it. It was a diaper rag, right? It was something that was really soft, and she would rub against her hands or her face whenever she felt anxious. It was her point of comfort. And knowing how special it was to her, I folded it back neatly and I put it into my pocket. Now what about, think about it, over the course of the day, I came across a dirty counter. What if I took that diaper rag out and I said, "Oh, I'll use this to clean it up," or maybe there was some spilled juice. I use that same diaper rag to clean that up. Do you think my niece would be happy with me? Not a chance. She'd be pretty mad with me and maybe not even want to trust me anymore with anything else. So we are all put in charge of something. The challenge is figuring out what it is and what to do with it. And so that's what we have to determine for ourselves. How can we take care of what we've been given? Today's scripture talks about 3 workers who were given the opportunity to be good stewards of what their owner had given them. The owner of this field, this farm, was going on a trip. And so he called his 3 servants together and gave them various amounts of money. And as he left, the first two went straight to work and figured out, how can I make the best use of our owner's money? Well, they quickly went out and doubled it. The third servant said, my owner's a bit harsh. He's a little bit mean, and he's going to want to make sure I take care of this money. So, I know, I'll bury it. He took what he was given, something he was given the opportunity to make use of, but he stashed it away. So when the owner came back and he called his people together and says, hey, how'd you guys doing? And the first guy goes, hey, boss, I did a good job. I took your money, I used it, and I doubled it. So you got, instead of 5,000, you got now 10,000. He says, whoa, good job. Come, be my partner. Second guy goes up, says, hey, I did the same thing too. You gave me 3, I doubled it, now we got 6. Good job. Come, be my partner. And the servant who was given the least says, I know you're cruel, I know you're mean. This guy wasn't that smart, yeah? He says, so I did what I thought was best, and I buried the money. Well, his master was not very happy about that. So he ended up losing that money. We are given opportunities to make the best of what we have that is within us. And that's what Charles Reed Bishop decided to do. He took the wishes of his wife, and he realized that she had a deep love for her people, and she had a deep commitment to them. And he helped her carry out her will, so that we, the students of Kamehameha schools, might have a future before us, and not just us, but the people of Hawaii, for the Lahui. What is it that we're going to do? And not only did he take Pauahi's money, but he also knew that what her whole desire was about the whole people. And so as he saw Kamehameha schools getting developed and becoming grounded in the people and being able to help many more, he thought, what about the younger ones? And so he took all of that which he was given by his beloved wife and invested that to create our elementary and middle schools. And that's all how we're able to go from a K-12 program, and even younger now. Mr. Bishop knew his wife's heart. He knew his love because he knew what she loved because he loved her. And so he took her dreams and made it to reality. What about you? We are all given something to be stewards of, to be caretakers of it. I want to call up Mrs. Lokelani Patrick, who is an Apua o Pauahi, a Kamehameha Kapalama grad. But not just her, but also her daughters, who are part of the school, and now her grandsons are also with us. So we're going to have Mrs. Patrick share a little bit about what she has been placed in charge of and how she uses it for her future. Okay. Ms. Patrick.
Mahalo. Aloha mai kako o Catherine Lokelani Patrick ko uinoa. Noho ao ma Wailuku, hana ao ma ke keena o ke po'okula, o ka mahele, o ka pilina, o nā pukana, a me nā mākua. Aloha mai kako e nā pua o Pauahi. I am happy to be here with you, surrounded by your aloha, on the birthday of Charles Reed Bishop. If he lived, today would be his 200th birthday. A couple weeks ago, Kahu, my friend, asked me to share a few words of encouragement with you, so I'll share a story. A month before my 12th birthday, I left my home and my parents in Lahaina to catch a flight to Oahu, where I would attend a new school, where students live on campus in a dorm. My mom and I had prepared for this moment by gathering all of the required items on the packing list: clothes, shoes, toiletries, a twin-size comforter, a stuffed animal, a family photo, and spending money. My new home would be a room that I would share with another student that I didn't even know. This was going to be scary. Would I be okay? Well, have you ever transplanted a tomato plant? You take the plant out of the original container, and you put it in a new container or in the garden. The plant usually goes through a period of shock. It wilts, it looks sad, but if the conditions are right, the plant recovers and perks up. As boarders, we went through a similar experience. It's called being homesick. You miss your family. You miss what you've left behind. You're miserable and you want to go home. There were a lot of changes for us, and everything was hard at first, but it didn't take long to make friends, and eventually things worked out. As boarders, we went to many school functions, both middle and high school events. It was the boarding director's brilliant idea to keep us busy and out of trouble, so we attended sports, concerts, plays, even debates. I remember attending my first concert glee Christmas concert. The choirs sounded amazing. The students all performed so confidently, and they looked like they were having so much fun. Because of that experience, one of my favorite songs is Sleigh Ride, a song that was sung that night. After the concert, I thought to myself, that's what I want to do. I want to be in the high school concert glee. And 2 years later, I auditioned for the concert glee. And I enjoyed 4 years singing under the direction of Dale Noble and Robert Nelson. My experience at Kamehameha was a few years ago, but you Haumana, are here at Kamehameha now. Maka'ala, seek out new opportunities to join a club, a sport, or volunteer and serve, because these experiences may spark your passion, help you grow, and allow you to meet other students and develop new friendships. The gift of education and the experience of boarding was Pauahi's investment and gift to me. Mahalo Pauahi and Charles Reed Bishop for the opportunities that you've provided for us here at Kamehameha Schools Maui. E ku'u pau e nā pua o Pauahi. Mahalo.
Thank you, Mrs. Patrick. That's something that we think about. Sometimes that's something we don't think about that we have to take care of, which is our time. You know, when we think about taking care of things, we're thinking about taking care of our laptop, taking care of our clothes, taking care of our rooms. But what she said was true. We're given time, and her dorm advisor thought how best to make the use of time by getting the dorm together and taking part in different activities. And then Ms. Patrick made sure that she used her time wisely while she was at Kamehameha Schools. Somebody who spent a lot of time here on our campus and made the use of it is Jackie Brandon, who's our keiki kahu. And she has used her time so wisely. In fact, she's double-dipped at times. For she's not only just the keiki kahu, but she is also the ASKSM student. She's a student body vice president, a faithful leader, and I just want her to share something that she's generous with and how she is a good steward of. Okay, Jackie?
Okay. Mahalo, Kahu. As Kahu said, I am very involved in the school, and I have been blessed with many leadership opportunities, and just opportunities in general, and just many things that most people don't have the blessing or the ability to have. And so I'm super grateful for that, and just being able to be here at the school and have this place as my foundation is just such a blessing. And I plan on using that as my foundation and continuing to build upon it and to grow in college, in the next level, and just being able to come back and give back what I have been so graciously given.
So as we consider what is the investment that's been put into us, whether the education or the materials or just the love, let's find ways to invest that. Let's take the time to go out into the community and share what we have, whether it's our helpful hands or the resources that we've been able to gather, or just finding ways to share God's love. The key to what Mr. Bishop did was that he knew the heart of his wife, and he chose to make the most of what she had given to him as well as what she put aside to make a difference. Know the heart of God, who's given you an abundance of love, of time, of opportunity, and go out and make a difference in this world so that he might be able to say to you, well done, be my partner, that you might have a life that is well lived. Right? Please join me in prayer. Mahalo Keopuolani for looking into our hearts and finding ways to put your trust in us, to share the opportunity to be here at Kamehameha Schools. And Lord, as you have placed us here, may we find ways to make the most of each and every moment, each and every opportunity, to truly live our lives fully. And as we live our lives fully, may the investment be made into us so we can become people who go out and make a difference in this world. We thank you, Lord, for the investment of our parents' time and efforts and resources to create these opportunities. Now, Lord, may we make them proud of what we become so that we might be your people living in this world. So mahalo keakua for our opportunities, for the life of Charles Reed Bishop, for that which he did to further Pauahi's legacy. Makuna kamakua, me keiki, me kauhana himalele. Amen. All right, thanks for joining us for chapel. We appreciate you being here and look forward to finding out what you've done to be a good steward of God's gifts and his grace. Aloha, ahui ho, malama pono. Take care.